Hi, Ben McAdam here from profitscollective.com, and in this video I want to show you the SMART, S-M-A-R-T, way to set goals. Most of the time when I start with a new client, the very first thing we do is the roadmap process, and the very first step of the roadmap process is looking at their goals, and SMART goals are really, really important here, so I thought I'd walk you through that. Okay, so while I'm writing this out, SMART is actually, it's an acronym. S-M-A-R-T. The original was apparently from George Duran in 1981. At least that's what the Wikipedia article tells me. If you want to know more, go to SMART Criteria on Wikipedia. That's the way it is. So S-M-A-R-T. And the reason why this is useful and why you should actually care about using an acronym when you're setting goals is because it makes your goals more concrete, so they're easier to aim for, easier to achieve, easier to make progress towards. So if you set your goals using the SMART criteria, then they're more likely to actually happen. There's a bunch of different versions out there. You can see all of them on the Wikipedia article if you really want to, but here's the one that I like. So S is for specific. I would love to be rich is not a very SMART goal, or not a very SMART goal. And one of the reasons is because it's not specific. What exactly does rich mean? What type of rich do you want to be? Do you want to be the kind of rich where you have a big lump sum of money and you'd never be able to spend that no matter how hard you tried? Or do you want to be the kind of rich that has lots of income coming in from investments, or the kind of rich that has a huge amount of wealth, lots of assets? Be specific. What kind of rich do you want to be? Next, M stands for measurable. And the reason why this is fantastic is because you'll know exactly when you've actually achieved the goal. Like, I would like to be asset rich is specific, or more specific than it was, but there's no way for you to say, yes, I am that thing now. So you could instead say, I would like to have $100 million in assets, just to continue with the ridiculous example. I would like to have $100 million in assets. That's measurable and it's specific. The next one is actionable. It has to actually be something that you can take action towards, something that you can do. It's not like, I would like someone to give me $100,000 in assets. That would be specific and measurable, but it wouldn't be actionable because it's not something that you can really do. So you want something actionable, like I would like to earn $100 million in assets. So there's an action element there. Then the R is probably the part where our ridiculous example falls apart. R starts for realistic. So is it realistic for you to become a trillionaire? Well, the odds are pretty small. Technically, people do it, but probably not. So maybe set a goal that's a little bit more realistic. So instead of, I would like to earn $100 million in assets, let's perhaps change the goal down from 100 million. Let's maybe drop it to like 5 or 10 million, something quite small and realistic, assuming you're starting from nearly zero. And then the final letter, T, stands for time-based. And time-based means that there's a time criteria to it, so that then there's some pressure on you to make progress along a certain time schedule. So if you say, I would like to earn $5 million in assets, that's a bit better than I would like to be rich, because it's specific. You put a number on it, and exactly your version of rich. You said it's measurable, so you know the number. Actionable, it's like you're going to take action towards this thing. Realistic, it's more realistic than 100 million. Time-based, now that's the key thing. It's like, when are you going to do this? So how can you actually track whether you're on target or not? It needs to be a specific element, but also a specific time element. So say, I would like to earn $10 million in assets in 5 years. So there's a time element. And then, obviously run that time element through the realistic filter. But now we've turned, I'd love to be rich, into something that's a SMART goal. Then once you've got the SMART goal, you can actually, it's a lot easier to set, to actually create a plan, because you know where you are, you know exactly where you want to get to, and you can draw a straight line or a slightly wibbly line between the two. And that's like the rest of the roadmap process. One last thing is, now that you've gone and set this and you've fulfilled the SMART criteria, just do a little check-in with yourself. Are you actually interested in achieving that goal? Or is that something that's not not really of interest to you anymore. So that's it. That's SMART goals. I have a question for you. If you have set goals before, have you set goals before? Have you used the SMART criteria? Do you have your own flavor of SMART criteria, or is there a different way that you use to set goals? Let me know in the comments below. Love to hear from you. This has been Ben from profitscollective.com. See you next time.